Hello friends, this video on data handling part 10 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. So let us take one more example. So let's say that you are organizing a trip and the trip involves a lot of costs. So you have your food expenses, your transport expenses, staying in hotel expenses, shopping expenses and etc. So you want a bar graph to represent all of these data. So here it shows the various events like transport, stay, food and shopping and their respective expenses in rupees. So what do? So on the graph paper, we first choose a horizontal axis and a vertical axis. So let's say this is a vertical axis and this is a horizontal axis. Right? So this time let us try to draw horizontal bars. So for that what we will do, let's represent the trip events on the y-axis. And let's represent the numbers, that is the expenses, on the x-axis. So our first step is done. Our next step is to choose a scale. So we will have to decide a scale for the x-axis. So what should be our scale? Let's look at the range. The range is from 1000 to 4000. So basically it is in thousands. So we cannot consider scale as 1 unit as 10 because here we are dealing with thousands. So what should we consider? So in this case, let us assume that 1 unit represents rupees 1000. That means 1 square would represent, so from here till here, this 1 square is representing 1000. So let's say if this is 0, this is 1000, this is 2000, this is 3000, this is 4000. And so on. So this is one good option to locate these, right? So for the first event is transport. So for transport, the expenses are 4000. So let's say we draw a graph like this till 4000. That means till here. So the height of the graph, so in this case, the height is not exactly height, but the length, because we are drawing horizontal bars. So this would be for transport. What would be our next bar? Next bar would be for stay, which is 2000. So let's say we draw this here. So next one is stay, that is 2000. So this bar represents stay. The third bar is for food, which is 1000. So 1000 is here. So this represents food, and the fourth one is shopping, which is 1500. So 1500 would be exactly midway between 1000 and 2000. That means 2 boxes this side, 2 boxes this side and half boxes in between. So this would be 1000 plus 2.5 boxes, right? So that would be somewhere till here. So this, if you draw it like this, so this would be for shopping. So in this fashion, you can draw a bar graph, and this time we have drawn horizontal bars. So that's what I was telling, right? Depending on what we want to draw, whether we want to draw horizontal bars or vertical bars, and how many units, or how do you choose the scale, that is clear, right? So once you have chosen the scale, then how do you choose these values? So that's very simple. For example, for transport, how many units it will cover? So that will depend on this. 4000 is what you want to represent, and you have assumed that 1 unit is 1000. So divide it by 1000. So what do you get? You get 4. That means this would cover 4 units. And you see that is what you did. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So it covered 4 units. When you talk about stay, it represents 2000. So 2000 divided by 1000, that is 2. So this would cover 2 units. So you see it has covered 2 units, 1 and 2. So 2 squares. Similarly, for food it was 1000, so it covered 1 unit because 1000 divided by 1000. What about shopping? For shopping it was 1500 divided by 1000, which was 1.5. That is 1.5. And that is what you did. So 1 full square and then half square. So in this fashion, you need to decide, or this is how you need to draw the length of the bar or height of the bar, and that's how you get a bar graph. So the most important and critical part of drawing a bar graph is to choose the scale. Interpreting a bar graph is pretty simple. Let's say you are given this bar graph. So looking at this bar graph, if I ask you who scored maximum, so just by looking at the height of the bar graph, you can tell that Rana scored maximum. If I ask you who scored minimum, so the bar which has the least height, so we can say that Rekha scored minimum. So if I ask you how many of them, who all scored marks more than 30, so where is 30? 30 is somewhere here, somewhere at this level. So all the bars which goes beyond 30, they all scored more than 30. That means Akash, Amit and Rana, they all scored above 30. So in this fashion, you can very easily interpret information from a bar graph.
Thank you. Please visit examfear.com for free quality education. You can learn with a simple 4-step learning process wherein you can watch video lessons, you can ask your questions, you can refer notes, and you can take a free online test. We have content for class 6 to 12 on physics, chemistry, mathematics, and biology along with practical videos. So please subscribe to our channel for daily updates. Thank you.